Hello everyone, I'm recording my live session on the E-mini S&P 500 futures. The time frame is 2006 charts, and today it looks like we started with a lot of chop at the start, push up, continuous pushes up. You might want to be following shortened channels here, something like this with the break a new high. This push is really strong, so you're gonna be eyeing some wider channel here. It's quite hard to find a channel this early because it just doesn't make any sense. So you're gonna have to wait for a bit more price action to judge on what trend line it is, what channel. But now that it looks like we keep pushing up, keep pushing up, I think it is appropriate to draw a wider channel like this. This one has the most bounces. One bounce, two bounce, three bounces, four bounces, five bounces, already confirmed, many bounces. We do have a break here, though the break looks quite tiny. I don't know if we will be widening it after, but I'm gonna have to see and judge from there. For now, it looks like the only setup was this higher low, and I wouldn't say I would take it simply because the EMA is getting in between the middle of these bars, and it just looks too choppy. So many bars sideways at the same level. Because the bar is so good though, like an advanced trader would consider. I personally skipped because I just found it a bit too choppy and didn't want to take anything in the middle of this choppiness because you could easily get stopped out here, and it would be an obvious reason, which is congestion. And now you have this push down, and a lot of a small range here, small consolidation, which actually has really strong support. One bounce, two bounce, three bounces, four bounces. There's this first entry short failure. I really wanted to see failed second entry short here because I would have taken it, especially if this bar triggered. If this bar triggered, if this bar triggered below this, it would have been quite a nice setup, a higher low setup, but unfortunately it didn't, and we keep pushing up. But now we've pushed up too far for me to consider a failed second entry short, so I'm now reconsidering a second entry long, which I might be taking off of a double bar entry because the shortened trend line, the pullback, has played out. You're slightly below the EMA, but the second bar is already going to be way above. If it closes like this, I might be taking it. And I think I will be taking it. I just have to be careful of the risk. I sized down actually. I shouldn't be sizing down. I'm actually going to take a limit order around here. Let me see. Something like this is okay. I'm going to bring it a tick down actually. Something like this. Double bar entry. Bar pushed really high. So you can't really consider it being below the EMA on the signal bar. And it might win, but it might go without us too. It actually has already made kind of like a new high here, so I'm gonna be unfortunately taking off my limit order, but it was a good trade to take. I think I could have risked this much. I could have, but I just didn't get it in time. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. The context is quite nice because you have break, you expect new high for the uptrend, you expect new high for this uptrend, and you just bounced off of this congestion. You're quite higher now, and now you have new high, first entry long failure, second entry long. Downtrend has played out. Second entry long started below the EMA, but the double bar entry is already really high, so you can take it. Unfortunately, we didn't get filled, but it is a nice trade. If you took it, well done. There might have been an entry here because even though we do have everything is played out really, even if you say a secondary channel like this, it also has played out. So every uptrend is played out. But again, don't forget I said that I would want to widen this a bit because it doesn't really look like break. Just a gut feeling, doesn't really look like break. And the thing is, these two legs down are so broad, These two legs down are really broad. So the if we had gotten a good signal bar and a trigger, I may have entered, even though it looks very aggressive and very shaky, simply because of the fact that everything is played out. So we're not really thinking about longs anyway. But I think a more advanced trader would consider this, because the two legs down are really broad, um, and a lot of people are gonna get sold on this really big bearish bar. We might still get it because we did push below this bar, and now if we return with a nice reversal bar, I might take this. Let's watch. As you can see, the bar has closed really well, so I'm gonna put my limit order now here. I set my limit order. Now it just needs to get me in, and we will be in this trade. And now unfortunately we have already pushed to new high, so we have already pushed to this high, and the scalp was already done without us getting in. So again, really unfortunate. um really unfortunate again. It looks like the second entry long was really nice, but unfortunately we just couldn't take it. So two setups missed actually, and it's not even because of I wasn't looking at the monitor. I was there, I just didn't get tagged in. Really unfortunate, because this setup in my opinion is also takeable. Two broad legs down, um, right at the EMA. Really nice reversal bar, especially here. So yeah, could have been an easy win, but unfortunately it wasn't, and we have to move on. This is trading. This trade is not really important. We have to think in the big scale and think in probabilities. Actually, I've just noticed that this is a double trap, not even just a plain second entry long, because you do have the trigger here and a failure. So yes, it is a double trap, which is actually an even stronger setup than a second entry long. So it was definitely takeable, makes it a much more valid setup, being a double trap and not a plain second entry longs. Um, so it's a new high, first entry long failure, second entry long failure, double trap, two legs down, which is double traps when they're two legs down is really nice. Um, Again, you do have everything, every uptrend is played out, but still, this is a good setup to take. So unfortunately, we very unfortunate that we didn't get it, but if you did, good job. It was a really nice trade, and it is definitely stronger than this one too. This one is just too much choppiness. You could easily get stopped out here by the chop. This one is quite clean, really good. Especially the signal bar is a T1 reversal bar, really nice. Unfortunately, we missed. I redrew a channel for this uptrend. It's a secondary channel after breaking new high, and it looks like we do have overshoot for it. Actually, at the top, there is this quite nice second entry long. You wouldn't say this is double bar entry if you take this after, because you've pushed down below before forming the second entry long. But it is not takeable because there is overshoots. After overshoots, you cannot take the very first second entry long. I have to wait for either a failed second entry short or a lower high setup at the MA to take an entry after overshoots. But it looks like because we've pushed so far up, we actually might not get break of this trend line, which shows the strength of this trend channel line. It looks like overshoot generated stronger pullbacks, and we actually just kept pushing lower. There is this channel though that fits quite well, and it does have break a new low already, so the bias is getting quite neutral around here. It does fit actually. The range fits. I'm gonna draw range because I saw that the EMA started getting quite flat, started getting in the middle of these bars, especially at the middle of this range. Push up, spike down. These are just really obvious signs of a range. And now we have downtrend break and new low right at the bottom of this, quite broad break and new low. So I might re-enter on a lower high setup above the EMA, or maybe something even right now if it forms really strong, like a second entry long here. Would I take a second entry long? This support is quite strong. You already have break and new low. The thing is, the secondary channel might still be in play. Like, the break isn't so broad. If this was like a broader two legs down, I might be able to re-enter on. I might be able to enter on a second entry long here, but as of now, I don't think I can enter second entry long. And as you can see, we pushed even further lower. So I finished the day without taking a trade. Um, I I was ready to take so many trades, but I just didn't get filled. For example, on the double trap here, this is a really nice setup. Two legs down, even though you already have a new high. You haven't pushed up a lot. It doesn't feel like the really high of the push. Feels like a start of a push. You can have this secondary channel like this, really broad, two legs down. So it's just a really clean setup to take, and it's a nice double trap to capitalize on. um, there was another setup that I've missed here, which is this secondary long actually, that I wasn't able to take because the double bar entry was a bit too big, so I wanted the limit order, and again I did not get filled. So two really good setup. If you capitalize on them, you had two winning trades, but if you didn't, it's fine. You still have many more chances to go. So anyways, today was quite an okay day. It was an okay day. You started with a lot of choppiness and then a really strong push up. You kept pushing higher, and then you actually had to break a new high, which led to consolidation. And you had some good setups on the way up, but they were quite hard to spot. For example, this double trap, many people just completely forget about going longs right after breaking new high. So you have to be a bit advanced to take this second entry long. Also looks like it's below the EMA. So you have to be quite advanced to take all of these trades, but at the end of the day, they are takeable setups. And anyways, uh, that was for today. Recording my live session. If you learned something new, then don't forget to support. And thank you, everyone. See you next time.